Hey, family. Now, hey, I know I'm late, but you know what they say, Murphy's Laws can happen anytime. But guess what? Your Millennial Empowerment Catalyst is here, coming to you live on another episode of Leveling Up Your Confidence. It looks good on you. Tonight, we are talking about it's okay to be different. And we use this platform to encourage, inspire, and uplift young women around the world through our stories, which can be someone's get a plan, sis, you are not alone, or someone's survival kit. And tonight we have the amazing, beautiful, most inspiring, and inspirational Laquisha Williams, who is a best-selling author, speaker, mentor, and founder of the World Class Woman Network, a premier platform for progressive women designed to inspire personal development and social change. Growing from 14 women in her living room to over 200 women yearly. Laquisha deeply believes in the power of connection, collaboration, change, education, and community. She believes every woman can have it all and deserve to live a richer and fulfilling life without compromising their belief and morals to have it all. She is a fierce advocate for women living their best and fulfilled life around the globe. Her motto is, "It's only the beginning and I'm just getting started." Woo! Yes. Laquisha, it's a pleasure to have you on tonight. Oh my goodness, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful. But first and foremost, I just want to give it back to you and say thank you so much, Delisha, because you could have asked anybody else to be here on this last day, I think. Well, no, we have one more day before this month ends to close out July, right? We're in July. You know, the time's so fast. So I want to first and foremost thank you for providing an opportunity and a platform for impact and change. So I salute you, my sister, and I look forward to this conversation tonight.
Yes. Going right into it now, Laquisha. As a self-esteem coach, I help young women who lack self-confidence, self-doubt, and self-worth. And one of the things I try to do is to show them that it's okay to be different. Nothing is wrong with that. Be your authentic self. With that being said, can you share your story, your journey around that, please?
I would love to do that, and I'm so excited to just be here. Good evening, all of you guys who will be joining us, who are on here on us live. Let me tell you. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of my story, right? Kevin Costner said that when the defining moment comes, either you define the moment or the moment will define you, right? And many of us have had many defining moments in our lives, whether it was related to our faith, our finances, our health, our relationships. But somehow we do not know how to not allow that one circumstance define us. So you want to hear a little bit about my story. I grew up in an amazing two-parent household, right? I had my dad who called my mom his queen, and I saw my mom call my dad her king. They were so in love. To many, it seems as though they were living a fairy tale, but to me, I was living in my reality. And I could not wait to experience the love that I saw as a child, now as an adult. So I'm going to get a little more deep into my story and share with you guys. I grew up, I graduated, went off to college, and I met my first boyfriend.
Oh.
He swept me off my feet. We talked about our dreams, our goals, our visions, and things that we were going to accomplish together. But the only thing that I was waiting on was one question and 4 words. Let me see if you guys know what that one question and 4 words was. That one question and 4 words were, will you marry me?
Wow. And so much of us are waiting on that.
Will you marry me? So that was the question. So you would have thought that he had told somebody something to someone, because the way how I was planning, I had the colors. I was like, whether or not it was going to be a destination wedding or a local wedding, or, I was just so excited. I had the colors and everything. You really would have thought he had said something to someone the way that how I was planning. And I was so excited because I said, oh, I have my dreams and goals, and I can't wait to accomplish them with this individual. But the question never came. The question never came because I found out that my Prince Charming, the man who swept me off my feet and who I built and who I was looking to build with my dreams with, he had been unfaithful. Not only was he unfaithful to me once and I took him back, not only was he unfaithful to me twice and I took him back, he was unfaithful to me 3 times. And every time I took him back, I took away a part of me, losing, and I heard you talked about it a little bit, my self-worth, losing my self-esteem, losing my self-confidence. And the once confident woman just faded away. So I had to fight. What did I have to fight for? I had to fight to gain back my confidence. I had to fight to gain back my self-worth. I had to fight back to gain my self-esteem. Because what I was looking for on the outside, Delisha, I discovered that I could not find it on the outside, that it was coming from within. And so even tonight, I'm wearing this for your audience. I am worth it, right? Because what I thought that was going to fill the void was not coming from a man, was not coming from money or for, material things. Coming from within. So the message that I share with women around the world today is that the love that you are looking for comes from within. The success that you are looking for comes from within. And if you are ready to make that world-class life, you've got to do world-class things and ensure that success is an inside job. And that's what I share with women around the world today. So that you like
I was trying to keep up. Laquisha, you said that the love you are looking for, searching for, it starts within. Success is within. In order to be the world-class woman, the world-class leader that you want to be, it starts within. Yes. That hit home.
Yeah. Because and you're dealing with dealing with women with self-esteem, and but when you look at it, a lot of times we are looking for a void that's outside that only the inside can give you. Only when you come and be with yourself, when you look and see what is it that you want. And you can't get that. And that's why you see people time after time are getting material things or getting stuff to fill a void that first only God can fill. But then on the second hand of that is that you have to do the inside work. You have to have peace within your inside. You have to be beautiful on the inside out, and then it exudes on the outside, right? And so that takes work.
That's so true. And no one can do it for you.
No one. You have to be, Lisa Nichols said that you have to be your own rescue. And so you have to be your own rescue on this journey called life. One of my mentors says that if you don't show up for your life, then no one else will. And that's the truth. If you don't show up, if you don't get out of the boat, if you don't embrace your difference, what we're going to talk about here tonight, then no one else is going to do it for you. Right? The opportunities that are waiting, the opportunities that are coming your way is going to go to the next prepared person. Why? Because they have embraced their difference. Why? Because they know that it's okay to be unique. Why? Because they have gained back their self-confidence, gained back their self-esteem, gained back their self-worth. Then you can dominate in the nations, in the country, and create impact like you are doing here today.
Whew, that's juicy, eh? Oh my goodness, this is juicy. Thank you, Carmel, for joining. Thank you so much. So, Laquisha, when what comes to mind when you hear "it's good to be different"? What emotions come up for you?
When you say it's different, like part of so I have the relationship story, but another part of knowing what came up for me was a feeling of insecurity because I felt that I didn't look a certain part or I didn't sound a certain part. Because for me, I left my parents' home at the age of 17. So when I came to the US, it was like, okay, people look different, a little different from me. They sound a little different from me. So there was some insecurities like, do I have to be like this one to operate in my full potential? So it was a lot of things that was coming up for me, not at first, right? I can't say that happened right at first, but subconsciously I started thinking about certain things. Subconsciously, I'd be like, And Delisha, at one point, like I get manicures and pedicures, right? But I'm not a nail type girl. But I went through this season where I wore nails as long as how like a regular nail is so long and you don't cut it. Like I used to wear those kind of nails.
Really?
Everyone was like, "What? You?" I was like, I had to go through this journey. I had to go through. So here I was wearing nails, and then I'm gonna let y'all in the secret. I even hate talking about this part. I used to have a nail that they would put on my big toe. Like a false nail on my big toe. That's like when I think about it, it's just like crazy to me. I was like, what were you thinking? But those were like some of the things I thought that I had to do to be like what I was seeing. So that's one of the things. I know we have a lot of questions to go on, so I won't get too excited and start sharing everything. But that is basically, I just had like a lot of emotions, and one of those emotions were like that insecurity, wondering if I'm enough.
That is good. That is good. And I know about those insecurities. They could eat you alive if you're not careful.
Who you telling?
To our viewing audience, thank you for joining. If you have any questions, you could drop it in the chat, and I'm sure Laquisha can answer it for you. Let us know if this is resonating with you. Let us know how you feel about this topic. We'll be happy just to hear from you. So our next question, what ways did you felt like you were different and how did you handle this? I know you said that insecurity is one of them, but how did you handle your insecurities or any other feeling that you had?
Well, at first I didn't know, to be honest with you, how to handle it because I had these feelings and these emotions that I could not articulate. So it was just one that, I just went with it. I just went with the flow. It was years after, I'm talking about maybe 10 years afterwards. And it was not until even with my name, like I remember visiting my relatives and my cousins, their friends came over and they started to just make fun of my name. Oh, you got a ghetto name, you got a hood name. And I remember Delisha going and crying and asking my mom, why did you guys name me Laquisha? Because Laquisha statistically, culturally, they would say it's a hood name, it's a ghetto name, and all of this stuff. And I felt so bad, right? I felt bad because my name was something that people were not embracing. So I remember going to the courthouse and getting the paperwork and figuring out how can I change my name.
Wow.
So I didn't know throughout school, high school, everything. I didn't know growing up that Laquisha was a bad name according to society. And then as I started to evaluate and learn it, Laquisha means joy, happy. And I was like, so I get to redefine what my name is, right? But I didn't do that. So that's why I had to share with you first. I didn't know how to. So I just kept it in. I kept quiet. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. like your audience, there are so many sisters and brothers that are suffering in silence.
Mm.
They are suffering with a smile.
Mm.
Suffering with their tears, silently crying for help, but we don't know how to tap into that. We do not know how to relieve that or take that mask off because we have done it for so long. So for me, I did not understand why is it that people made fun of my name, and then I worked for the state and had working with foster care children and everything, and the kids were now even making fun of my name. And even though I said that's my name, and when I did ask my mom, she said your name was given in love.
Mm.
But I did not realize that. So I had to do, and that's why I'm so determined and focused on the message of success is an inside job. Because even though I was still trying to change my name on the outside, the name, no one should get to you that much where you try to change everything about you. What I had to discover is that our differences don't divide us. Not our differences that divide us, It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. So we don't know. So for me, I love to go into arenas and places that people don't look like me, don't talk like me, don't seem to speak the same language or have the same dialect as me, because I get to learn. I get to recognize somebody else's. I get to celebrate somebody else's. So for me, I had to go on this journey alone because I was ashamed to say I didn't like my name. I was ashamed to say I did not like how I look. I was ashamed to say I didn't like my features. I was ashamed to say, even to speak, because I felt like because I had an accent and I was different, I was not going to be accepted. But, it wasn't that somebody said that to me. This is the things that I say to myself. That's why it's so important to get out of that self-sabotage, because we talk ourselves out of things that's not even there. You have to be able. So once you understand, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, once you understand and appreciate other people's culture, other people's backgrounds, then you will be able to connect with them more. If you're not connecting with other individuals just because they're not from where you're from or speak the same language as you or from the same area, then that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah. So I hope I answered the question.
That's good. You said recognize and celebrate those difference. Yes. And you go to different places just to celebrate persons who are living different, because you will get to appreciate yourself. I love that. And Laquisha, I know you're talking about your journey a little bit, right? Did you were you able to help yourself get to where you are now by yourself, or was there outside persons who were there encouraging you to help push you to love you?
Well, I always had like a supportive parents and friends, but again, sometimes some journeys you're going to have to take. Sometimes we are looking for people to say, come. Again, we said it at the beginning. No one is coming to rescue you.
True.
How many people said they were waiting for Oprah to discover them? A lot of people to this day are waiting to go viral. You know what I mean? So society has built this, built this whole facade how we were supposed to do. But I can tell you that a lot of times, and I can guarantee you that I'm not the only one who pretty much sometimes have to go through some of the processes by themselves.
That's true.
So not until I started to dig deep into what is it that Laquisha wants, I had to dig deep into more personal development. Like anyone who knows me knows that I'm a personal development junkie. I love to go to personal development events. Why? Because it's not only building up others, it's building up myself so that I can be a better person for other individuals, right? And so for me, it all started with me reading audiobooks, attending events, YouTube University is my best friend. Google. So I'm always listening to positive things that's going to change my belief. Having affirmations, stating affirmations on a daily basis so that I can build that belief. Those are some of the practical things that I know. And as a believer, as a Christian, I believe that, God says that we are the apple of his eye. So I had to really think that, okay, if God has created me like this, then I shouldn't have all of these issues, right? I shouldn't have all of these struggles about my identity because I know my identity is in Christ. So I know there is nobody else like us. And when I saw the title about it's okay to be different, it's okay to embrace your difference. I was like, this is right on target because no one has our fingerprints, no one has our DNA. So we have to walk in that power. And I was not able to walk in that power until I had to look myself in the mirror and say, Laquisha, you got to do the work. Do the work. And the work is not pretty. The work does not look good. A lot of people on social media are not showing you the work. It's the work. Great movies come out. They show you the trailer, but rarely do we see what's happened to be out. So that's just like somebody's life. You will see a post, you would see a picture, but you don't see the work that it takes for that person to become.
That is so true. Now that you say that, I recall remembering, okay, I'm a Christian. So because I'm a Christian, I don't need to go through this, God is going to deliver me. But hey, I had to go through the process. And like you say, it was not easy. It was not easy. But at the end of the day, you appreciate your journey on the long run. Right. Because if you don't go through it, then hey, when something comes up and knock you off your knees, you could be like, did I do that?
Right.
Was that in me? Because why? You didn't really dig in deep to do the work. You didn't dig in deep to go through the process. So I love that. And on your journey, right? What made you believe that you were different?
I knew I was different is because when I go back to scripture and it says, before I knew you, I formed you. God created us. And he was so precise when he detailed, no one looks the same, no one is different. And I realized is that what made me know that I was different was when I was trying to conform to the world way of doing things. And when I say that, but what I was sharing earlier with my nails and my toenails extensions and just wearing colored hair and big hair, and I'm just not knocking anyone. That's not what I do. Is that was not my authentic self. And so what I was trying to do is that knowing that we are all different, first of all, but we conform to a norm that honestly doesn't come from naturally being us. And that's what I was doing. That's when I knew I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. So those of you who are watching today, you may be in a certain situation, a certain area, hanging with a group of friends, a group of coworkers, or family, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, or like you're uncomfortable, like you're like, this just ain't me.
This ain't me.
So I had to go back. So everyone can feel like what's not you. In other words, like no one is born with the abilities to meet the world's expectations of normal. Like the world has caused us to not be. No one is supposed to be normal. We're all supposed to be different. So what I was doing, Delisha, was that I was spending my days, my years conforming to a checklist.
That's good right there.
And explaining myself over and over, checklist. Okay, this is what I should do. This is what, nah. But I had to now embrace what made me different, embrace that I had an accent. I remember going to one of my business coaches and she said, I said, I'm embarrassed. I know God has called me to do great things, but I don't know if people are going to understand me because of my accent. And she was like, Laquisha, money does not have an accent. Okay. And today, Delisha, like today, the United States Congress honored me, right? My mayor honored me. I was one of top 100 business women inside my county, right? These are notorieties. These are accolades that someone else gave me because they saw the work that I was doing. This wasn't like something that I had to sign up for and say, oh, put me down at this. So even when I was honored, and even with Malcolm X's daughter, she honored me for a platform of excellence. I've never met her prior to that day until I had to fly into New York and Times Square to be honored for a platform of excellence. Right? So if I did not embrace my difference, right? I wouldn't have been able to get those things, those awards. Last year during the pandemic, even though I knew beforehand, I graduated with an honorary doctoral degree. Why? Because somebody saw my difference.
Wow.
Because somebody saw my difference. Because I've embraced my difference in being world class. I've embraced my difference and having an accent and being able to create impact, right? And so what I had to do now is that, okay, I was like, wow, okay, God, like, you know, what is it? You get rest. A lot of times we are not comfortable. We are uneasy because we are not embracing who we are. And I charge you guys who are listening tonight is to embrace the true you, because someone depending on you, they can be 10 years old, 12 years old, for you to shine and operate in your full potential. So once I was able to embrace my difference, things started to happen for me, Delisha.
And that is good. That is really good. And I wrote down, you can be different. You can feel that you are different, but if you don't believe, if you don't embrace that, hey, I am different, then no one else can embrace that for you. So that is good. I love the way you said it. You said you had to embrace you first. Once you were able to embrace you, then accolades started to come. They started.
Blowing. Like, I tell you my office now, I get awards, and I was like, I can't, I don't need any more awards, you know? Like I said, okay, I get it, because I realized that the awards don't define me. But it's good, you know, for someone to, even for yourself, you know, it's good when you have an invitation to speak and to share on somebody else's platform. I'm always honored to do so, because that is my duty, that is my purpose, right? So that's always good, but that's because I've embraced my difference and I've accepted Laquisha Williams. I've accepted, you know, my features, my accent. This is who I am. Like, this is
That is so true. And what advice can you give to someone in the audience, or who is watching now, or who would watch the replay, who is feeling depressed that, hey, or don't feel good to be different? What advice can you give to them? In what, well, yeah, to let them know to, hey, embrace your difference, you know?
Well, one of the things that I can say is that being different helps you make a difference. That's one of the first things I will tell you. Being different helps you make a difference. You have to become MAD, M-A-D, make a difference. Your difference stand out, and the world needs them. The world does not need another Delisha. A world does not need another Laquisha. The world needs another you. And only you can do you. New ideas, perspectives, and actions, all of that are requirements if you want to positively impact the world, and you have it. So that's the first thing I would say. Being different helps you make a difference. And then another thing you can do is that use your differences to teach other people. Just like how I did not embrace my difference, I was able to help and teach other women how to embrace their difference. What we try to hide and cover up could be the very thing, Delisha, that the other person wants to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
That's true.
The very thing we try to cover up and we try to hide, the other person wants to learn about that.
Mm.
So instead of making excuses for your differences, explain and teach others about them. And that's where your growth comes. That's where the fulfillment comes. Tony Robbins says that success without fulfillment is failure. So if
Mm.
you're not being fulfilled in the things that you were doing, you are failing.
Wow.
See, this will help you connect with others and learn to love every part of yourself when you decide to teach others about your difference. I just have to step in the room and I just have to show up in a room and I know my difference is there because I set apart. I stand out.
Mm. Mm.
And know this, I always say, because my whole brand is world class. I always say that world class people are different people. You know, they paved the way because of their difference. They paved the way because of their difference. So you have to use your difference to teach other people. And it is your difference that is going to make a difference in the world. And you have to be able to accept that. Until you're able to accept that, you won't be able to get the wings to fly and to soar into other territories which you have been given. We have about 8 million people on the billion people on the planet, and you have yet to scrape the surface. This pandemic has fast tracked all of us to success. This pandemic has far accelerated wherever you are to where you want to be. There's no excuses. They
Mm.
are valid. They are invalid. Your excuses are invalid. So it's going to take your difference. If you look, Delisha, at a lot of the things and the people that go viral, why? It's because of their difference. Think about it. Not because they look like everybody else. I love to see those pictures that have like maybe uh 10 black balloons and maybe one pink balloon. Which one is going to stand out? Which one is somebody, if they're driving by, going to stop by and look twice? Is the one who made the difference, and we are here to make a difference.
Whew, that is good. That is good. That is really good. My friends and family, I encourage you to go back, listen to these nuggets that Laquisha Williams is dropping. She said, being different helps you make a difference. You have to be mad. Make a difference. And with your difference, teach other people. That is so good. That is so good. My last question, well, actually not question, but this seals the deal on our session. Advice. Sorry. Can you what last nuggets that you like to leave with the audience, and where can someone reach you? Yeah.
As we close, this was such an amazing conversation, and we got to do this again,
I
Delisha.
agree.
Yeah, you were so sweet. I love your spirit, and I want to just pray that everything that you're doing this journey continue to excel, and that God will continue to open up doors for you. Thank you once again for having me. So, what I want to share, actually, just to encourage you guys today, is that don't when you're talking about difference, it may be scary. I shared with you guys my story. I was used to seeing love one way, but when my ex became unfaithful to me, I did not know how to operate that. I did not know how to go through that process. And I'm 40 now. That was 20 years ago. So there's been the evolution. You see the evolution of Laquisha. So where I was, so what I don't want you to do is to judge your book one or your chapter one by my chapter 10,
Mm.
and
Mm.
start where you are to make that difference. And when you decide to be confident, when you decide, because see, it's a decision, it's a decide. You have to make a decision to do something. to embrace that difference, to get that confidence that you once had or it's been hidden. Because what I realize is this, and I speak about having a world-class brand, and it says that world-class people don't play
Mm.
by the rules. We don't. We don't conform to all society norms. They don't follow what everyone else is doing. They do their own things in their own ways. That's being different. They make decisions that work for them. They set goals for where they want to go. They think out the box, firstly, because they aren't standard issue. You are not a standard issue. You are a global issue. So you have to stop operating as a standard issue. And I'll leave you with this, is that you can't fit into regular packaging. Nope. Axe. You want the glitter, you want the popping um, ribbons, you want a little bit of extra. Whatever your difference is, add some more sprinkle on that.
Mm.
What I want you to do is to stop hiding what makes you different and learn to embrace every part of who you are. So that's it for me. You have been hearing from Dr. Laquisha Williams, creator and founder of the World Class Women Network, where I help successful entrepreneurs to live their best lives from the inside out. Because I truly believe you're not winning if you're not winning from within. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Laquisha Williams. On Instagram, it's Lady Laquisha Williams. Not because I wanted to be a first lady or something. Somebody else just had my name, okay? Because I get that all the time. But you can. So I would love to have a conversation with you. You can follow me, and it will be great to connect with you guys. Thank you so much, Delisha, for this time once again.
Whew. Thank you so much, Laquisha, for enlightening us on your journey. You have dropped nuggets, diamond, and gold tonight. And I'm sure we are all pulling all of them in. What is ours we're going to take? Again, my fellow guests and family, thank you for joining Leveling Up Your Confidence, where we not just tell stories, but my story, your story can be someone's get up plan. Sis, you're not alone, or someone's survival kit. And with that being said, please follow our pages if you have not done so. All under Delisha, your Millennial Empowerment Catalyst. We are on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah. Thank you again for joining with us. Thank you again for joining this platform with Lady Laquisha. We so appreciate you all on this journey. Remember that your voice matter, your story matter, and sis, you got this. See you on another episode next week on Leveling Up Your Confidence. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you once again.